How authorities say they tracked down a suspect who allegedly abused a dog so horrifically we're choosing not to show it.
Probably that's pretty good evidence that he has some sort of awareness that he's doing it to that animal.
Also, a stranger tries to abduct a child from a Vancouver park in broad daylight.
It's very alarming. It's very unsettling, not only to law enforcement, but of course to the family, to the victim.
Plus, an early morning wake-up call for a Portland fire station. The damage apparently left behind by an aggressive driver. And later,
folks are excited and the vibe is electric.
Oregon's delegates fired up as the Democratic National Convention gets underway in Chicago.
A very good evening, everyone. We begin at 6 with a suspect allegedly recorded on video abusing a dog appearing in court today for the very first time. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. We brought you the story last week, and a lot of people emailed, called us, worried about that dog. And now police say they have arrested the guy responsible after dozens of tips from people who said they recognized him.
Joe Ranieri joins us live downtown at the Multnomah County Courthouse. So, Joe, first of all, how is the dog doing?
You know, that's the one thing we don't know. Now, Isaac Justin was taken into custody in Northwest Portland just a couple of days ago. And since he's been arrested, you guys, he hasn't said really a word about where this dog is and the condition. But we want to warn you, the video you are about to see is kind of tough to watch.
132 after Justin first of Isaac.
25-year-old Isaac Justin appeared in Multnomah County Court on Monday afternoon, appearing very calm and collected. A far cry from when he was spotted on the surveillance video last week. He was seen taking a rope and hitting this dog numerous times, and it was all caught on video. A maintenance worker reported the abuse to the Oregon Humane Society. Justin was arrested over the weekend in Northwest Portland. Police say that they received numerous tips about him being spotted in and around the downtown Portland area.
A lot of these cases are more circumspect as to what's happened. This one seems so overt as to what's happened. I think it sparks more interest.
We spoke to attorney Jordy Duckler, who specializes in animal abuse cases.
Here, I think most of the video is just striking the dog, stopping when the dog winces or reacts, and then striking it again. Probably that's pretty good evidence that he has some sort of awareness that he's doing it to that animal.
He says prosecutors are going to have to prove he had every intention on hurting this dog.
Did that accused person, the fellow in the elevator, intend to inflict pain as opposed to intend to do something else? In a sense, it's all going to depend on what's in his head, not what's in his hand.
Since being arrested by police over the weekend, he hasn't been cooperative with the one thing police want to know: where the dog in this video is now. Now, David and Christine, Justin's next court appearance is scheduled for later next week, where he'll be facing those federal charges on animal abuse. Now, I did speak with a Portland police spokesperson earlier today who told me they do believe and hope that dog is out there and is safe. Back to you.
Yeah, Joe Ranieri reporting downtown this evening. Thank you, Joe. In your headlines, Portland police are looking for the person who shot and killed a man last night in the Buckman neighborhood. This was just after 10 at Southeast 9th and Washington. The victim had died by the time officers arrived. No word on any suspects or arrests.
Portland police have identified the woman shot and killed in Northeast Portland's Hazelwood neighborhood early yesterday morning. 33-year-old Melody Rooks was found dead from a gunshot wound a little after 2:30 a.m. at around Northeast 140th and Wasco Street. Her family provided this photo. The medical examiner has confirmed Rooks' death as a homicide. So far, there have been no arrests and no information on any suspects.
On the Oregon coast, a man is presumed to have drowned after he went missing in heavy surf. The Coast Guard says 3 people were reported struggling offshore near the mouth of the Yachats River around 4:30 Sunday afternoon. A witness telling the Yachats News that a woman and 2 children were playing with boogie boards when another beachgoer got concerned they were too far out. He jumped in the water to help. They were able to make it back to shore, but he did not. The search was suspended last night. His body has not been found.
And a close call for people living in a Northwest Portland apartment complex this morning when an electric scooter's battery exploded and burst into flames. The scooter was parked in an interior hallway when its battery ignited. The sprinkler system and firefighters were able to then put out the flames before they could spread. There was some damage to the hallway, but fortunately, people living there weren't displaced.
And Oregon forestry officials say they have detected the emerald ash borer in Marion County for the first time. The invasive beetle, which has killed more than 100 million trees nationwide, was first detected in Oregon a couple years ago near Forest Grove. This summer, it was also spotted in Yamhill and Clackamas counties. Infected ash trees must be cut down and mulched to destroy the larvae inside. Forestry officials are trying to stop the spread by injecting pesticides into ash trees that are not yet infected. Matt?
All right, David, thanks very much. Boy, what a wild Saturday we had, right? With the lightning and the rain, amazing rainfall we had. There is rain in the northwest right now, but it's mainly north of the Columbia River, a little bit spilling down to about Cannon Beach. But that is continuing to shift inland to the north. That may graze Clark County and maybe Multnomah County tomorrow with a few showers. But I think we have a mainly dry day on the way tomorrow and a beautiful night outside right now. So things are looking pretty good. This was one of the scenes from Saturday. This is lightning over in White Salmon, Washington. I've got a few more pictures to share with you of the lightning over the weekend too. It was pretty impressive. Hey, so going forward through the week, we've got more showers coming our way. Not so much tomorrow, a few on Wednesday, but Thursday is the day when we'll see the most rain, and we could see thunderstorms again. I'll show you why in a bit. It's going to stay cool this week, but boy, the weekend, things shape up just in time, guys.
Thanks for keeping us updated, Matt. Now to a Vancouver park where police are looking for a man they say tried to abduct a child right off the playground.
Devin Haskins caught up with a witness who watched it all unfold.
I started hearing screaming coming from the park.
That woman, who asked that we not share her name, spoke to us over the phone. She says she heard the screams of a child being abducted in the middle of the day.
She was screaming, "I don't know you. Get away from me. Get away from me."
The attempted abduction happened at Leaser Crest Park in the Vancouver Heights neighborhood of Vancouver. It was just after 3:30 on Sunday afternoon.
It was, a very short time. It seemed like a lifetime, but, this all happened so fast. But I heard her screaming that and realized that she was actually calling for help.
This security camera video from a neighboring home shows a man get out of his car and walk out of frame. He then approached the little girl on the playground, grabbed her, and tried dragging her away. She screamed, fought back, and the man took off. You can see him here jump over the fence and drive off in his car.
It's pretty uncommon for stranger child abductions to happen, so when incidents like this occur, it's very alarming. It's very unsettling, not only to law enforcement, but of course to the family, to the victim, as well as to the rest of the community.
The woman said she then ran towards the child with police on the phone.
And she was just crying, and she was shaking terribly bad. She was so distraught from it.
Police say the person they're looking for is a white male, about 5'8", about 140 pounds. They say he's about 20 to 30 years old with short brown hair, some facial hair, and possibly has tattoos on his face, hands, and stomach. Here he is again. Police say he looks to be wearing a black hoodie, black basketball shorts with red on the sides, and dark shoes.
That it's in your best interest to turn yourself into police instead of make us come find you.
Vancouver police say the car he took off in is described as a newer, darker colored Jeep. If you recognize the man or the car, you're asked to call Vancouver police immediately. In Vancouver, I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Developing this evening, Portland's Elections Division has opened an investigation into a complaint that alleges Commissioner and mayoral candidate Renee Gonzalez violated city campaign finance laws.
So one of 3 complaints came from a local civic engagement nonprofit. The organization Portland for All alleges Gonzalez used public money to edit his Wikipedia page. In a statement, the organization said, quote, "Gonzalez not only spent city funds to shape his public image, he clearly did so to benefit his candidacy." The nonprofit added it believes those contributions do not comply with city and state regulations around the use of public money. So when the Oregonian first reported news about the Wikipedia page changes earlier this month, Gonzalez's office told us that it was about managing his public profile. They hired a vendor to help, and the funding came from his office budget, specifically the portion for communications and staff education.
So moments ago, we heard from the Gonzalez campaign in response to the complaint, a spokesperson calling it a, quote, politically motivated attack by extremists tied to fringe candidates. All right, all that honking. Portland Fire is looking for whoever vandalized Fire Station 25 in Southeast Portland just before 2 this morning. They say in this surveillance video, which looks like it was from a home across the street, the driver of a pickup appears to drive past and then back up before turning up the driveway, damaging a garage door, Fire says, then hitting a flagpole. Portland Fire says the car appears to be a white Ford pickup with possible damage on the passenger side. Well, the opening of Multnomah County's Deflection Center, meant to move some illegal drug users toward treatment instead of jail, has now been delayed.
The decision will allow the county more time to train nursing staff and to meet with people who have concerns. It was scheduled to open September 1st, the day possession of hard drugs becomes a crime again in Oregon. For weeks, people have called for the county to delay opening the center off Southeast Sandy Boulevard. Some have even threatened litigation if its opening wasn't pushed back. This morning, the chair decided to delay the project by about 6 weeks. The reason for the delay and the response from neighborhood leaders coming up at 6:30 on The Story, only here on KGW.